Welcome to Vegas Circle with Pocky and Chris. And first and foremost, we hope all you and your families are doing well and you're healthy and safe during this pandemic. And most importantly, that you guys are practicing social distancing. And social distancing doesn't have to mean, social disconnection. And Chris and I have been talking for weeks. We had this on hold and we got back together and just said, hey, let's bring our podcast back because we're moving online temporarily. The reason why is that we're not at a standstill. We feel like it's an opportunity for us to get some information out to people. Also, the world is adjusting. We must adjust. Unfortunately, this is the new normal, and this is a crazy time for all of us. But I believe that the time is right now for all of us, and I don't want the time to at least pass me by on things that Chris and I have been able to accomplish. But one thing that I just wanted to share that's been on my heart is that, since we're at home with our families and things, I think it's a time for people to work on projects that they didn't have the time to be able to accomplish before. And with this COVID-19, we thought it was the appropriate time to talk about disinfectants and services and the proper handling of chemicals. So that's why we brought back Matt Hamblin, the CEO and founder of Smart Pest, because he's got some great education. They've got a great campaign and great PR that they're doing, which is a no BS campaign, and it's just straight to the point. So, Matt, welcome back, man. We appreciate you taking the time with us.
Hey, what's going on, Matt? How you doing?
Hey,
so
how
talk
you
to
going?
us, man. This is wild. How's your family doing, man?
Everybody's doing good. I've got kind of it's funny, the social distancing thing, because I got two ex-wives with two babies from each one. So I have a 15-year-old daughter, a 9-year-old daughter, two ex-wives, and I'm kind of like this ground central, where I have to making sure that the 15-year-old isn't getting something from a friend and then bringing it back to the 10-year-old and sending it down a different chain, So social distancing is no joke.
Homes are hotbeds right now, for sure. The houses are the hotbed, definitely, at the moment.
Yeah, it's wild, man. So you were just in Vegas. You went right back to Phoenix. I know you go back and forth, man. So you scared with that situation with your type of business and being around. How have you been able to kind of social distance and do your thing?
Well, the thing is, it's interesting because I was traveling a lot, doing the nonprofit stuff that we talked about last time I was on your show.
Yeah, sure.
But with everything going down and everything shutting down, with being able to go anywhere, I've had a lot of good time with my daughters. I've been home and, like you were saying, getting down to home projects and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's been a crazy adjustment trying to learn how to run a company from the house and homeschool kids at the same time. I'm sure everybody's doing that.
Man, Chris and I talk about that literally all the time. It's like, this is the new normal. It is weird that this is the new normal. And you got to make the adjustments, which is wild.
You don't know how long it's going to last. We might as well get ahead of it for sure.
Yeah. That's a big thing. There's so much information that's out there. That's something that I've been preaching to the guys because everybody's kind of hoping that this will blow over real quick, One of the best podcasts, if you guys haven't seen it yet, like everybody knows Joe Rogan, but he had a virologist come on, and the way that he said it, you remember that his name is Michael. It's got all kinds of backing behind it now, but the way he said it, he goes, everybody just needs to settle in because we're looking at this like it's a blizzard, but we're really just getting into the winter,
Got it.
Whether it's one of inconvenient truths, like we want it to be over tomorrow, we want life to get back to normal, but I think the reality is what all the virologists, the experts, are saying is that, man, this is something you better settle in because this is just getting started, and nobody wants to hear it, but it's just going to be our reality. So I think the quicker that we just do things like this, like we adjust and we start communicating differently, and we find ways adapt, the better life's gonna not go back to normal, but stabilize, right?
Let me ask you a question, because Chris and I were talking about this because we live in a hot climate, right? Because now it's starting to get a little hotter. They said that that's helping a lot with because it's not obviously colder climates. You're gonna see COVID, obviously increase a lot. But what's your take on that at all?
Yeah, I do like that theory that people have. I do.
Yeah.
I try to. My guys, I try to tell my daughters, we're super fortunate. We're very lucky and blessed to be in the Southwest of the United States because we're so geographically separated from the craziness that's happening in some of these other markets.
New York is getting beat up.
and it's getting to us at a later date. Not to say that we're not going to get it hit as hard as everybody. You know, we're big metropolitan cities. I think Vegas, you know, with all the international travel, I look at it like, you know, anybody not taking it serious in the city of Vegas is going to be up for a rude awakening, because I think there's not enough testing stuff that have really shown up. But once it shows up, people are going to be like, oh, wow, we got just as big a problem as everybody. But I do think that's a great point. The heat is going to kind of naturally play an effect, you know, that's gonna help. The stuff they're saying lives on hard surfaces for up to 3 days. So like plastics and metals and things that were, you know, countertops, things we're touching all the time, you know, and doors and that. Well, out in Vegas, out in Phoenix, here in the Southwest, you know, you can't touch a door handle, you know, without a towel. It's just too hot, you know. And viruses, they really are they're weak critters. They're highly destructive, but a virus, you know, it can die from the heat outside. You know, it's not going to survive. So I think in cooler climates where, you know, you're touching a door handle at gas station, then you're moving and getting into your car and you're driving your car, and and you're passing around with your hands in these hotter environments, you're going to go out to your car that's 400 degrees outside. So you don't have to worry you got this on your steering wheel, because that can't survive in that, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. So we wanted to get at the most part, we wanted to get heat, get hot fast, you know?
Yeah. Now, but where it's a tricky disconnect is that there's a lot of misinformation, like when talking to the virologists, because they say, if you drink hot tea or you drink hot coffee, you know, you'll get it to temperature and it'll just kill whatever's in your throat. But these guys they're having to dispel these myths. They're saying like, no, that's not true. You know, a door handle that's 200 degrees is going to kill the virus. That you can believe. They said the second that hot coffee enters your body, it's immediately like counteracting and cooling off that stuff. Because if it was really going down your throat at 100 degrees, you know, it would just. Yeah, exactly. As far as saunas go and things like that, people are just so yes, heat will be a major help, but it's not something that people should just kind of make a global truth for them, you know.
Definitely. You can't rely on it too much. Social distancing is the key right now.
So we were talking a little bit about, like, obviously we're all at our homes right now, so it's like, what do you do in a situation where you're social distancing? Like, for example, you know, I've got kids. I know you have kids, Matt. How are you doing that in your home? You know what I mean? If you're social distancing with your kids or your wife, or somebody's got some type of little small fever or small cold or what we think is a flu, what do you do in your home? How are you trying to quarantine and it on another quarantine?
Definitely.
Well, and that's the thing too, is people knowing where to go for that kind of information to get like credible sources. Because I can give you, I read about it, and it's what I'm remembering from what I read. I'm quoting the virologist that I heard on the podcast, you know. But as far as the quarantining, if you go onto the CDC website, the Center for Disease Control, there'll be links that'll tell you, just click on this button and it'll say how to quarantine in your own home.
Got it.
And so going to a source like the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, which is what we'll get, because that's kind of where we talk about virucides and protecting space, right? That would be environmental, but the CDC is a place where they'll have a resource like that. I found two departments of health safety in Arizona, or the Nevada Department of Health Safety, and they have incredible, awesome information that you can trust, right? It's input out by the guys that are paid, you know, that have been working their whole lives to do this, these experts, you know.
What do you recommend that we should be cleaning with, and how to, you know, obviously you know a lot about the pesticides and things like that when you've got, you know, those issues in your house, but how can you prevent that? I think is our biggest thing, is like prevention. How do you buffer that?
Yeah. Now, one thing that's really important, and I'm glad, I appreciate you mentioning like my Instagram, you know, what we're trying to do. Because we're a pest control company, and so we apply pesticides, right? But a virucide, it actually falls right into that category. You know, side means death, like suicide, you know, genocide. Side means death. So herbicide is to kill, you know, plants, and pesticide to kill pests, and virucide is to kill a virus, right? And that's an important thing to realize, because the virucide doesn't die from a bactericide necessarily, right?
Okay.
And so where the confusion gets in, because people will be like, oh, I've got Fabuloso, I got Mr. Clean underneath my kitchen sink, so I'm just gonna, just whip it out and just be treating like that stuff, and I'll never worry about the virus, right?
That's me all day, man. Yeah.
And but a virucide, that where you're really going to find that, and that's where I mentioned the EPA. A virucide is something that the EPA has gone and they've made a very special list of chemicals that kill the virus, the COVID-19 virus.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's a very important. Yep.
It's called Listin, in like noon,
Listin.
Yeah. So, and this is what Listin is. I mean, if you were to go on and try to look at all of the different, chemicals that are out there, they all have terms like dimethyl sodium hydroxide, and all things that, if you're not a chemist, pest control guys, we're more familiar with it because, those are our active ingredients of a lot of stuff that we're getting rid of. But for a normal person, they'll be like looking at the back of their detergent and just wondering, does this kill it? Does this not kill it? I don't know. So what the EPA has done is that you go onto their website and you can actually look at a frequently asked questions by the EPA, and they will answer a bunch of questions about Listin. As a general rule, everything that's on Listin is something that the EPA has gone and said, the testing's been done that proves that it kills human coronavirus. So it's not just viral killer. If it's on Listin, it means it's a human coronavirus killer. The other Listin is they've weeded out a lot of the things that if you put them on surfaces that would not be, safe for somebody in a household. So it has to, on all of these products on Listin, it also has to, you have to be able to put it on countertops and doorknobs or door handles. So when you go to Listin, as a general rule, you'll know, okay, EPA is telling me this kills the virus that I want to kill, and I know I can put it on my doorknobs, and I know I can put it on my countertops. So like I already know I'm working with something that the EPA and knows something have said I can put it in these sensitive areas, right? A great place to start.
Do they put that information like easily digestible forms, or is it pretty complicated when you're on there reading it?
If you go on the Listin, then it's a lot. It'll be 10 pages of different articles like that, right? But that's where knowing a little bit, where knowledge is power, right? Because there's really like 4 different families of overall families of virucides that are on Listin. There are peroxides, so like hydrogen peroxide or in that family, that's one of them. You've got a sodium hydroxide. It's another like family. You've heard that alcohol kills it. Isopropyl alcohol is like your regular rubbing alcohol, but they're saying that you need at least 70% concentration of isopropyl alcohol to work. And then the big family that is in our world that like the commercial cleaners that get their hands on is something called quaternary ammonia. So,
ammonia, that's something strong as hell.
Yeah, it can be. And that's the big point I think that I would make, that what's happening out there, like in our society, is that everybody's so freaked out. And a lot of people, you have a lot of companies that are popping up out of everywhere and saying, we'll disinfect for you, But then you got to ask the question, where's their background? Like disinfect, do you know what Listin is? Do you have the proper protective equipment for this stuff? Are you just going to be putting down Fabuloso, or do you really have like a Listin product, right? So you have a lot of people willing to come and clean for people. People so worried like you are about your own family and just want, like, I want to go Google and try to find a cleaning company that's going to, be able to disinfect, right? But that's what I'm hoping, why I wanted to get on and talk to you guys for just a minute, is just to say, if you arm yourself with just a little bit of knowledge, then you can be empowered to use the right people, right? Because if you know what Listin is and you call a cleaning company and you ask them, hey, is this a Listin product? And they say,
what are you talking about? Yeah, you know the language. Yeah.
Then you're kind of like, thank you very much. I don't really need a quote from you even. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, because you armed yourself with just important things like that, knowing the difference between a bacterial killer or cleaning agent and a virucide is really a valuable thing.
Is that what you guys are going to roll out with all your social media? Like, I know what you transition and your new branding. Is that kind of the goal? Is hey, each day or weekly, you guys are going to kind of put out information, basically say, hey, this is what we're recommending. You know, the knowledge is power kind of brand, which I love. I saw you guys did that. I think that was a day or two ago. Or that might have been, so I saw that. So is that something you guys are going to be doing moving forward? Is, hey, this is what we're seeing. Hey, check this out. Or
for now, for now, yes. If you go onto our Instagram, it's Smart Pest AZ.
Okay.
We're a little company out of Tempe, Arizona. We only have a couple hundred followers. We just really, it's a funny thing, but I haven't been on social media like crazy, you know, like for a 12-year-old business, you'd think that I'd have a lot more followers, but I haven't used it a lot. And now at this time right now, I'm just looking for communication medium. I want something that can get the information immediately, and I want them to be able to pass it on to their friends if it's valuable for them immediately. Like at this conversation, I just think like if my mom hears this conversation, she's going to want to send this over to her best friend and my aunts and uncles and say, hey, Maddie just a donation that's super helpful. You know, now we know to go look at EPA to find the Listin. And now we know don't just pick any cleaner out of the woodworks or whatever. And the biggest thing, I think the biggest public announcement, because I know we don't have a whole lot of time in it, that I would say like a public service. So what I'm trying to do with Instagram is that when you see my black screen pop up with my little green bubbles, those are nuggets of wisdom that I think are important enough that if you see that, because when you're on Facebook or Instagram, you're kind of like scroll. But when you see my big green bubbles, I mean, shoot, I don't think it'll show up. Like,
you see it. Yep, you can see it. Yeah. Perfect.
You know, millennials, they're not going to kind of understand what I'm talking about. But for me, when I was growing up, we had tube TVs, right? And there was that emergency broadcast.
Yep.
And it would be like, you know, it's like this is a test. This is only a test. But see, they ingrain in you, and they kind of taught us that like if that comes on, everybody stop. This is what you do it. If something's going down, if America got bombed, it's going to show up on the TV just like that. So my idea with it is that with my social media, that's what that is. Those green bubbles say, hey, everybody, newsflash, pay attention. I wouldn't put it in these bubbles if it wasn't worth it. That's that no BS campaign. You're not going to see memes on this thing. You're not going to see funny jokes on this thing. You're going to see stuff that you really should know.
That's actually how I saw it. That's literally how I saw it. When you first posted, I said, damn, I said, okay, you're not playing around. I said, I like it. Yeah.
You're like, what is this? You know?
Yeah. Let me ask you one question. Are you guys going to be providing these services? That's what you guys are going to do as far as cleaning, you know, whatever your residential, I know you guys don't do as much commercial, but residential services, whether it's your apartment or home, will you guys provide that for people if hey, they want you to come in and disinfect for them?
We're getting ducks in a row to be able to do that. And that's why I kind of want to come on and you about it, because I'm seeing all these advertisements from all these companies popping up everywhere saying, we'll come fog your house, you know, we'll come and we'll clean and we'll disinfect. And I'm looking at it and see, I'm a pest control company, and pest control companies, our job at the name of the day is apply chemical. That's what we do, right? Whether it's a virus killing agent or it's an ant killer, like we put something into a spray gun and then we spray it to kill stuff. So really, it's like this is our bag. We've been working for 20 years with chemical distributors and stuff. Well, right now, when we get on the phone and we call chemical distribution companies to try to get Virucide, it's the same trying to get an N95 mask a little bit. I mean, I had a pallet for 192 gallons of concentrated viral killing Listin approved stuff from a corporation that specializes in exactly what we need to do, right? I got a call this morning saying, I'm so sorry. I know I promised you 192 gallons concentrate. I didn't realize how backed up we are. We just got to keep you on the waiting list. So
Wow.
we have plenty to be able to use, you know, on a small level. We can make a few thousand gallons of product with what we have to
Sure.
be able to
Okay.
spray doorknobs and handles and stuff like that. But to roll it out in a big scale, we have to get access to big amounts of chemicals. So when I hear people already advertising, I'm thinking, well, if you never had action to a distribution, how are you getting it in the first
Got it.
place? You're this company that just barely popped up. Right away, I got to ask that question. And then you got to ask, do you even have the personal protective equipment? Because if you don't got the respirators, you can't even be handling this stuff.
Yeah.
But the important thing, I guess, that I want to say is that virucides, they kill also. You know, the virucides are a strong product. This stuff that's on Listin, everybody's so worried about dying from COVID, but what people are failing to realize, so they're getting their hands on this stuff. You know, they're getting their hands on a big concentrated jug of virucide, and they're like, awesome, let's mix this up and go do that. But that would be like kind of like getting a gun and then not reading or educating yourself on like how to safely use it.
Got it.
Because read the small print. Somebody's not worked with a harsh chemical before. If it says the word warning, that means it's kind of mild. It'll irritate your skin. If you see a big word that says caution on it, that means that it can burn your skin. It can hurt you pretty good, so be careful. If it says danger on it, it means this can kill you. It means this is fatal, right? Some of these quaternary ammonia, these big bottle concentrated stuff, if not handled properly, mixing it, and they get it in their eyes, it can cause irreparable damage. And so when somebody's like talking about wanting to fog something, I'm thinking, if you don't know you got your concentration right,
It's too much
you're going to miss
liability. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of there. So it's like, you know, everybody needs to learn how to use this stuff. I'm not saying don't use it, just like I'm not saying don't go buy a gun. But for heaven's sake, if you're going to buy a gun, learn what you need to learn to keep yourself safe and everybody else, right? So that's the thing. If you see danger, that means read it. On some of these quaternaries, you say that if it absorbs into your skin too much of it, you know, then it can, you know, it can really hurt you. Now I say that I'm basically kind of saying that as a warning. If there's anybody that's like a cleaning service out there that's going to be handling this stuff, just to get the ducks in a row. Everything that you have under your countertops that the kids have, that you guys are using at home, your Lysol, stuff like that, that's called ready to use. That means it's already diluted. You're not taking this and mixing, you know, it's when you get into concentrations, you have to be really, really careful. Ready to use stuff. I mean, Lysol, you're not going to spray it in your mouth, but what they have in that bottle is just the right amount to not hurt you, you know, as long as you're not dumb about it and so
yeah, I'm glad we were able to bring you on to be able to say that. So basically, you'll be rolling this out over a period as an education, which is great. And so, guys, you guys definitely need to be seeing, you know, his website. Again, they're going to be. Can you shout that out again? Sorry, Matt. Can you say that again one more time? What your website or I'm sorry, your social media on where? Yep, Smart Pest. There you go. See the logo. See his hat. Smart Pest. There you go. I see it. Yeah. So you guys definitely got to be checking his information out.
Smart Pest AZ. If you see those green buttons, that's exactly the kind of stuff I'm going to do. I'll send you guys links and things like that.
Follow them on IG, guys, and we'll be reposting this because you'll be able to see them. We already followed them, and you guys saw Matt before, you know, last year when we had them on. But definitely follow them because they got some great education, man, just to keep us all safe. That's the whole goal.
It's people helping people. You know, this right now we're not at a time like worrying who does the service and who doesn't. I don't care who you use. I'm not saying that you need to go and go call my phone number and have me come and do the service. I'm just saying, make sure that you're qualifying these people, that you're learning your own stuff, because you empower yourself to make the right decisions. So, and anybody,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, I know we talk, so this is great, man. This is a nice little eye opener for everybody, especially during this crazy time. So, we appreciate you just hanging out with us, man. And obviously, we'll be following you, we'll be posting everything, and then definitely, guys, check out that Listin site, man. And we got to get. I got to give you a virtual pound or something, man. I can't even. I can't hug you or anything. So, but we appreciate you hanging out with us, man. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Part two.
I do elbow bump.
Oh yeah, no, that's what's in right now.
There you go.
Good stuff, man. Thank you, man. You'll be able to check us out at thevegascircle.com, man.